I do believe the Holocaust happened. However,
Go on.
torch. You carry the torch now.
Um.
Give me a point to argue to the audience. This is debate club. This is the debate club episode.
Oh, okay. Uh, Germany's economy, though, during that, amazing. So, like, really, what
Wonderful.
was really Hitler in the wrongs, though? B. Can you say
Honestly,
no?
I think his word was bastardized by those under him.
His word.
Honestly. Yeah.
What is his word?
I mean, is there videos of him saying kill all the
Oh, I
Jews?
thought you meant like he had a word and they took it from him,
Yeah, his
and
one
like
word.
yeah, like he needed to take back the night or something.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know.
Take back the night?
Yeah, take back the night.
What is that from? That sounds familiar.
I don't know. I heard it on Bob's Burgers, so
Is
it's definitely a reference to something.
take back the night. Let's see what Google says. Take back the night. What
Google,
does
we're
that
taking
mean?
back the night.
Oh, okay.
What?
Take Back the Night is a charitable organization that takes action against sexual violence and intimate partner violence. Oh, speaking of, my
I
boss.
I have a great bit for that.
What?
So I definitely think that they're in the right with what they're trying to do, but okay, go on.
My boss. I forgot what we were talking about, and he was like, man, it was kind of a different time when I was younger compared to you now because there's a 10-year age difference between my boss and I.
Mhm.
Uh, and I was like, yeah, how so? And he was like, well, when I was younger, date rape was a new concept. And I was like, what? And he was like, well, I mean, no, it happened. We just didn't talk about it. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? And he was like, well, we didn't think that, we didn't really consider that someone you're dating can say no to sex. It's like, what?
Was this like unprompted?
Pretty much.
Okay, good.
Uh,
This
it's like,
nigga,
Wes.
good old West,
And he was
man.
like, yeah, it was just weird to us because, you know, it's someone that you've already had sex with. So that means you must be fine having sex with them when they want to have sex with you, you know? And then he proceeded to tell me about how, up until pretty recently, there was a law in, I think it was Texas, somewhere else, that said, if you start having sex with someone and they say yes in the beginning,
Mhm.
and then they rescind their consent partway through the sex act, you're still fine to keep going. I
Oh,
was like, oh no.
that's really interesting though, because like he put that in a great way to make you really understand like how they saw it back then. Because like anymore, when you think about people who have like views that we no longer hold today, it's like how could they ever think about that like that? Like how is that even possible? Like,
Yeah.
but like that really makes sense. I'm not saying it's right or good because it's
Oh,
not.
by the way, I'm taking his words as he told me. He doesn't, like, he didn't think it was, like, a weird thing to say. He was trying to tell me, like, when he was younger, he didn't even realize that was a concept. Like that was entirely out of the scope of his life. You know, it was a new conversation, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, for his time period. Like he wasn't like being like date rape isn't real. He was like he was telling me he was exercising that like it was a concept that no one had talked about up until that point. Anyway, continue.
Pixar it didn't happen,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
honestly.
You managed to get here without following me?
But continue.
Must be a
About
member of
what?
my secret club after all. Here, take this.
You were saying like that's a, you know, it puts into perspective how they thought.
Oh yeah, because like you know, here in the year of our Lord Xenu, 20th millennia 21,
Yeah.
You know, we have our ways of thinking. You know, people are very accepting these
Yeah.
days. So like, when you think back to like even the 90s or 80s, when like there was still super racism everywhere.
Oh yeah,
It's just
absolutely.
like just unfathomable. It's like, how could people even think like that? Like, they just must have been such fucking backwards inbred idiots. It's like, no, that's just how people thought. And
Not apologizing for racism, by the way.
No.
Just like
it's just like we don't
it's mind-boggling that so recently things were so different.
yeah, and like people don't understand that it wasn't that people were like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there was totally people who were, because they still fucking
Yeah.
are, who were just like outwardly spiteful. It was just like, that was just how people thought. Like that,
Yeah.
that was just what was normal. It's what people were brought up and told what they should think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I was kind of thinking on my own, like even before he mentioned like the whole concept of like date rape and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking kind of along the lines of like how recently things were super different, because I was looking back and I was like, when did it become acceptable and commonplace for women to wear pants casually? Like in the 50s it was happening, but that was kind of like a fashion thing. In the 60s it was happening, and then in the 70s it was commonplace. So like the 50s, 60s are when women started just wearing like pants, and that was a new concept.
Right.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah.
That's like that's not even like a lifetime ago. Like that is somewhat like our grandparents grew up in a world where suddenly women could wear pants in a decade. That was fucking bizarre to me, you know?
It's the same thing when you look back at like TV shows from back then, like even back to the 90s, like how strongly enforced gender roles were, like Daria, like the mom and dad both work, but like dad does like some of the cooking, and that was like a joke back then. Whereas like now that's just like yeah, that's how some families are. Let me up on, fuck, did I trapped myself.
Yeah, you absolutely did. Dude, why is he presenting? Never mind.
It's just what they do.
Yeah. Another show I can think of right off the top of my head that had like, I guess, reversed gender roles with the parents is, did you ever watch Johnny Test?
Yeah.
Yeah, his dad was a stay-at-home dad who did all the cooking and the cleaning, and the mom was the breadwinner. She was like a corporate fucking girl boss.
Sure.
She wore like a pencil skirt suit, you know, that was her outfit. That was her
Right.
work outfit. And I was like, I didn't think anything of it like growing up, but now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, was Johnny Test progressive? And then his sisters are super geniuses. I was like, was Johnny Test fucking progressive? That would make sense because it's not an American show. Johnny Test was a
not?
Canadian show. No, it's Canadian.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was just brought to the American airwaves.
That's why it sucks so bad.
Oh yeah, that show sucked ass.
Yeah.
The dog's name
Fuck.
is fucking Dookie.
Yeah, of course it was. It's funny. That means poop.
Oh, they had an episode, that I guess like was not an Easter egg. It was like an homage to Crash Bandicoot.
Did they?
Yeah.
What was it about? I don't remember that at
I
all.
can't remember exactly what it was about, but they eventually, like, they do this thing where they essentially have to platform around, like they have to jump on obstacles and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And there are fruits that they collect. And that's a whole thing. It's, you know,
I don't remember that. I super remember when they were allowed, or when they did like a couple Pokemon episodes.
Oh yeah, and Johnny Test has that fucking kitted out DS.
Yeah.
I do remember that. That was fun.
Yeah, that show was really good when I was like 8.
Rewatch? Yeah, do I need to rewatch Johnny Test?
God, I think you might. I think I might have to too. Just to
I do
reconfirm
remember-
that it sucks.
I do remember I did watch a Johnny Test episode, and they used the fuck out of the whip sound effect.
Oh yeah. Like that's the one thing I can.
Me.
Shit.
That ain't me.
That could be a problem.
What is going on? He's
stuck.
frozen.
Yeah. Me too, buddy.
No, it looks like the game thinks he's stuck in an ice block.
Oh fuck. Yeah. I wonder if he'll
Because his eyes are
unfreeze that.
moving, but nothing else is.
Cool. Okay, good.
Oh.
I thought we were kind of fucked there for a second.
He's got places to be.
Got places to be, people to bad touch.
Jack, what you doing?
Jack, what you doing? You here to bad touch?
Jack.
Jack, what you say?
Yeah.
Oh, that you only meant well.
Jack, come here.
Of course you. Come here, Pat. Come here, Jack.
Dude, one day, he was being a little fucking bitch, so I booted him from the couch, and he like aimed farts at me as he walked away, and they were like human farts. Like they sound like people farts when he rips ass.
Oh,
He's a very
well,
poopy man.
shit. Can I fucking? Nope. Cool. Is
You
he?
do be pooping it up on occasion.
Honestly, me too, though.
Yeah, you and Jack, you're both very poopy men.
We are, and that's something you got to respect. It's our culture.
Yeah.
We fought for the right to be poopy men in the war of '06. So
Honestly.
war of attrition and government broadcasting.
Yeah.
Fuck, can I get? Okay, no, we good. Can't get on there. Can I get it from here?
Hi, Jack.
Oh, god damn it.
Man, he's really liking these scritches I'm giving him.
Yeah, honestly, kinda.
Thanks, Spyro.
Thanks. You ever what's your favorite war?
I unironically really like the. Okay, so I don't like the Vietnam War. I think it's the most interesting.
Vietnam.
That
was
love
awesome.
the Vietnam War. I think that's like all of the media that was coming out around there, like as protest. The news broadcast for when we got our POWs back to like update them on what had changed.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, have you ever watched that?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's this news section that was broadcasted over the entire country because we had just gotten our POWs back from Vietnam.
Right.
So, and remember, they went in the 60s and they came back in the 70s.
Yeah.
So the civil rights movement,
yeah.
gender equality, like women joining, having a more predominant role in the workforce,
Right.
And I can't remember much off the top of my head, but I do remember the newscaster saying, if you see a group of women walking down the street, you don't call them girls anymore, you call them women, because it's seen as offensive to refer to them, as like, I guess, like a group of girls, like you wouldn't walk down the street and call like a group of 20-year-olds like a group of boys. I mean, like...
I don't know, because that's like completely regressed, and that's kind of a normal thing now.
Well, yeah, but back then,
Yeah.
you have to think women were like homemakers.
Right.
And they were joining the workforce, and they, like all the... Well, I mean, they had already joined the workforce, but I guess in a more male world.
Right.
And it was just fucking insane. There's more about it, I guess, that puts it into perspective. I don't know if Netflix still has them, but they have these these docuseries but they're based on different decades. So it starts with 70s, 80s, 90s, and it's just going through like the technological aspects, the social aspects, the music, the culture, all of this stuff, and each episode is its own thing. And the 70s, I think, was the most interesting to me because you have that cusp of like, oh, the 50s and 60s women are meant to be seen, not heard,
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 70s you had like I think the biggest feminism movement since women's suffrage,
Right.
and it's just so fucking interesting. I honestly think the 70s are one of the most 70s and 80s are probably some of the most interesting decades to me in terms of American culture, the paradigm shifts, the American political scene,
Right.
It's just so interesting to me. I can't remember if Watergate was in the 60s or the 70s. It was in the
Uh,
70s.
it was like early 70s if it
Yeah,
was.
it was early 70s because it was after Kennedy.
Yeah.
And it's just so insane because you have these people who, like around that time, the presidency, the government, it was like we were still very much like in the midst of, um, or I guess in the aftermath of a country that had quote unquote like won a red scare, like we were like, yeah, America's the one who's
Yeah.
setting everyone right. And then so like there was this huge surge of patriotism and trust and love for the government, and then Watergate happens, and it was so interesting to see all these people who were like, I don't know if I can trust the government. And that's kind of, at least in my opinion as someone who's not a historian, that's kind of like the first time I saw the American public like having their beliefs shaken to the core of like, oh, our government can do bad things behind our backs.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. Also, hold on.
Gotta go get bragged on. I've always thought it's interesting that, like, especially because they're the generation who are like, I guess not so much anymore, but when we were in school, who were the fucking adult generation, like, they don't teach you about that shit in school. They don't teach you about Watergate or any other scandals that, like, were major things for our parents' generation and their parents' generation too. Which it's always been weird to me because, like, I've met people our age who, like, have never heard of Watergate and they have no idea what the fuck that is. Which is just insane because they fucking Watergate. Next time on Spyro, we gotta go for Leslie. We gotta take a jack break. Next time on Spyro 2, after the jack break, Watergate. Not so much water, a lot of gates. Check it out.